Very good evening to our distinguished resource person and respected participants. It's a privilege and honor to extend a warm and respectful welcome to our esteemed resource person, Dr. R. Mohan, Associate Professor, National Institute of Technology, Trichy. With his rich academic experience and significant contributions to teaching, research, and academic leadership in the field of computer science and engineering, we are grateful to Sir for graciously accepting our invitation and for being with us today to deliver the session on redefining the role of teachers in the age of AI. This topic is highly relevant in the present educational context where artificial intelligence is reshaping pedagogical practices and redefining the evolving role of educators. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a cordial welcome to Dr. Mohan sir and all the participants. With due respect, I now request our esteemed resource person to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your introduction. Just now I am sharing my slides. Is it visible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about the audio? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, madam. Okay. Very good evening to one and all present here are connected to this online. So the topic is assigned to me, redefining the role of teachers in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. So I prepared this topic in a very shallow manner. There is no deep mathematics involved. So slightly, even casually, you can watch and understand. Okay. If you have any doubt also, please you can make the note of it. Maybe in the end of the session or in between also, if you have any doubts, you can raise and it get clarified. I will do my best. Okay. So this is about the overall topic of the future of pedagogy. So how the learning process happened in the past and how it is going on, how it will happen in the future. This is the use of the new latest technologies, ChatGPT and AI tools for the teaching assistants. Okay. Okay. This is the agenda for the overall presentation about my part. I split it into 5 parts. The first one is AI revolution in education. That's around 10 slides. And AI literacy and frameworks, ChatGPT and AI tools as a teaching assistants, the implementation strategies and the challenges what we face, the ethics and the future vision. This is survey with the global overall all over the world, with the global context. Why artificial intelligence in education now? Because those who, I think maybe a very less number of people, maybe those who are in completed B in 80 or 90s, or you can take about 90s. In 90s, this subject was in different name, artificial intelligence and the expert system. Okay. Even in this artificial intelligence and the expert system, the content was different researching technique, like A-star search, heuristic, hill climbing algorithms, water jet problems, backtracking algorithms. These are all the things are branch and bound, DFS. This was in the subject content. Now, what we are teaching to our students is totally different. Because based on the today's AI techniques or the tools or algorithms, which helps to find the person who is the person what he is going to eat in the, after a week or after 10 days. Because why these things are happening? Because based on the situation or the data available. That is the current scenario with this artificial intelligence. And with this global context, what they are trying to say in the paper of the survey, 40% of the workforce will change within the 5 years. Because this is the extract from this different survey. Okay. Because this is the world executive force says that a particular survey, we are saying that the 40% of the workforce will change within the 5 years. The second point is that education system lags behind the technological innovation. Because that may be the reason that different regions of the different countries or the different geographical areas. There are some people, there are some nations or the areas which are well developed. They can adopt high-end technologies. There are some things with moderate. There are some areas very low or poor in technology usage. Okay, that is depending upon their strength or financial strength also and other reasons also. Then European countries developing AI literacy framework. That is with the final release will happen in that 2026. Then AICTE also. Within this, our country, AICTE commitment to AI-driven educational transformation. Because they want to introduce the technological things in our government, our AICTE interested or involvement. India's SOAR initiatives, the 500 crores centers for AI education. Because the government interested to develop or use the AI technology in that educational field. This is our Indian government wish. Okay. These are all the things which we can happen to that different agencies or studies. Okay. Through which their main focus is whether the A is very important, why it is. We will see later one by one. Okay. And there are some places with the hybrid classroom also. Hybrid classroom is something is automated or semi-automated. You can say that it is semi-automated. AI tools and the teachers. If these together, how these things can be utilized for the teaching, and what are the parts concentrated by the AI and what are the parts taken care of by the teacher. For example, administrative related tasks, they can use the AI tools. Grading, after entering the marks in the database for analysis and avoiding the grades, which can be done by the grades. The attendance, the entry, because what I am trying to say that some part we can make it automated. The attendance, they can do that. Class scheduling, preparing the timetables and all these things, they can use that, scheduling the classes. The content generation, they can do that. These are the tools which helps AI tools automate the following activities. Similarly, the teachers, how they can do or in what are the areas they can involve and they can take care of that. One is critical thinking, creativity, empathy, ethical reasoning, mentorship. These parts the teachers can be involved and help or taking care of those activities. This is hybrid, the combination of both AI tools and the manual system, means the teachers. Because how it can help? Maybe because nowadays, if there is maybe a well-known, well particular subject, he is the only teacher, supposedly. The area is totally new. So there may be many students are interested to taking or attending the class. In such cases, there are some parts if he is taking care of uh, helping through some systems, or it may be automation. So that the professor workload will be less. So that the professor he can more concentrate on the teaching the content. Or if the students are required any doubts or things, he can spend time to clear. That's what the mentorship, critical thinking. Creatively, he can prepare the question better so that it will be used to learn the student, the subject. Okay. Similarly, if the student coming into the class, capturing the photo through which he can take the attendance. Based on the availability, requirements, if they are scheduling the class timings, because these are all the silly things, because that is a professor efficient time, no need to spend or no need to waste. So the AI tools, which is this way, can help their teaching. This is one example. This is hybrid human-machine collaboration. Evolution of the teaching role. Okay, from the content transmitter to learning facilitator or the AI tools. The teacher becomes the facilitator of collective creativity, guiding students not only with AI, that is through AI. Because what I am trying to say there, we should not depend on that tool also. For example, in the best example we can say, today we are using the ChatGPT, right? If you record any letter also, if you type it, you a leave letter, it gives that leave letter. But at the same time, whether the leave letter is prepared for a student, whether the leave letter is prepared for a college student, whether the leave letter is prepared for an employee, maybe there may be some customize the content which may be required, or modify the content which may be required. So we should have an knowledge, then only we can modify. So that is the reason what I am trying to say, that we should be to do something through the technologies, not with AI. Yeah. Otherwise, if the AI is dominating, then you will lose the control. So we have to dominate. As a user, we have to be aware of that. How to use it, how much to use it, when to use it, what to use it. Okay. Current AI adaptation in higher education. In what are the ways they are adapting the AI tools in the higher education? One is ChatGPT surpasses the average student performance. Score A2 or higher level, or A2, yes, or different grading system, or A2, A plus. Okay. So, you know the content. I need to polish the little bit. In such a type of situation, you can use the AI or ChatGPT. There's no doubt about it. It will be, your content will be improved or optimized or customized. Okay. GTA can identify 50% of AI generated assessment, because these things which help to identify the plagiarism kind of things, whether it can be taken from the internet sources or such type of things. Okay. So in that part, this will be useful and we'll get it. Then Turnitin, Turnit, Turnit, it's a software which can help to find out the dependence in the your content and the web sources. This is the detector accuracy 92% across the diverse assessment. Okay, this way, this tool also which helps to find the document dependencies. And ChatGPT adapt across 7+ subject domains, that different subject domains. Universities implementing the ChatGPT, you do for the campus-wide act. Even though the universities or the individual institutes, whatever their things they provide, as a user, you should know that how to use it, what is the limit of that. Okay. Otherwise, there's so many reels, so many Instagram messages, how the car or the vehicle enter into the detail by using that Google Map. I hope the joke you are trying to understand. I think definitely everybody has seen that the joke. Okay, Instagram message or the reels. The benefits of the educators because of these technologies. The personalized learning path. AI adapt the content to individual ways. Because earlier days, it is very difficult to get the content, very difficult to get the books, or very difficult to get the other video audio sources. Nowadays, everything is in a very simplified manner, which is explained, the contents are there. So they have their own way or the own time or the own strategy. They can improve their accordingly their available times. Real-time feedback, the instant performance insights of the gap identification. So then and there, they can able to identify, they can give the feedback. Accordingly, the content can be improved. Content generation, discussion on topics, case studies, assessment creations. That is also possible. We are giving that to the topic, which gives the generated content. Questions. Based on the content, the possible questions to use. Then again, if it is the questions, then the possible answers is used. The time efficiency, automatic grading, and the administrative overhead. I told you that because of that, the time which we can save, because the saved times can be placed for the other purpose. Okay. So these are all the way which benefits the educators. Benefits for the student, 24/7 personalized tutoring. Learn at your own space time. Okay, because whenever they feel time or whenever they get time, they can go. Because based on their interest, their involvement, they can learn the extra subject also. For example, be computer science, they can learn the subject in that university or the institute. If there is any other interested, the extracurricular activities, music, yoga, or any other topic, they can learn according to the available time. The improved enhancement, tailored content, increase the motivation. Based on the need, is using that, which will help to improve their make it will help the students to engage in a manner. Skill development, AI literacy. This is the extra things. Okay. Skill improvement, AI literacy, domain specific competency sets. Because if they are interested in different domain, different knowledge, they can use the AI tools or the platform which will help to create the content which we can provide. Immediate support, that is things, it's available. quick clarification of the complex subject concept. Okay. Whenever you face that is a difficult subject, AI can help to get clear step-by-step procedures. These are all the way which the students can get connected. Current limitation of AI teaching. Limited ability to resolve the complex student misconceptions. Okay. Even though there are some benefits or advantages, there are some disadvantages. Limited ability to resolve the complex student concepts. That is true. Okay. Because they have to come up with the exactly the things. Cannot provide advanced personalized debugging assistance. This is what I told you that there are some content we should know that. Because similarly, while asking that as a leave letter, because it will give that a generalized leave letter, but we should know where to modify the content, where to modify the name, where to modify the department name, where to modify the front of words. Weakness in adapting response to diverse learning needs. That is true. Okay. The weakness, it's very difficult to adapting the diverse learning needs. The potential for reducing the student engagement in the overused. Because by using this, the student potential it can be reduced also. Okay. So like we can say that the earlier days, we know we are able to have a lot of good practices. Many phone numbers we know that they have the good habit of writing letters, they have the habit of writing diaries. All these things are gone because of this advancement and other things. Academic integrity concerns, the plagiarism detection is a big challenge. Because we cannot say that in all the cases they will use the terminating, they will check the cutted, they will see that there are some places they may not be able to do that. They may not have such a facilities. Okay. The ChatGPT is the core educational capabilities. Explaining the core concept of the pedagogical soundness, generating diverse assessment types. They can develop the quiz, exams, essays. Okay. Providing the language support translation, which is possible. Designing interactive exercise in the simulations. This is also possible. Generating personalized learning recommendations. This is also possible. These are all the things which are possible, or these are all the strong potential into this ChatGPT, which can be utilized for the educational. I hope you are able to follow it. I understand that. Okay. ChatGPT strength in that teaching. Because whatever the way they can use it. For example, introductory concept, strong in explaining the foundational ideas clearly and accurately. Okay. So it can give you that very good introduction. Completeness, providing comprehensive, well-structured response. Okay. That is complete. Adaptability, work across diverse subject domain effectively. Okay. So that is a possibility. Our strength, or the main thing is that the introduction is they can view very clearly, completeness, provide the comprehensive or exhaustive, well structured the way, or adaptability, work across the diverse subject domain. Key to responsible AI integrations. Use AI as a supplemental support for core concepts, not replacement of human instructions. Okay. Human teaching is essentially for advanced supports the complex problem solving as mentorship because we have seen these things as hybrid in nature. So both man and the man in the sense the teacher plus AI tools because the human or the teacher expertise required to teach advanced concepts, complex problem solving, and mentoring. The research-based approach harness AI to enrich rather than the replace of the quality education. Okay. What is AI literacy? Because we have seen that in some places, AI literacy, that is survey, the ability to comprehend various aspects of the artificial intelligence and then AI, understand the AI capabilities and the limitations, use AI tools effectively for the practical purpose, and make informed decisions about AI use in a meaningful and ethical way. Because not only that the ethical way, in a transparent way, it's a meaningful way. Whenever it is required, it should be used in an effective way. That is very important. Okay. This is an ability to comprehend the various aspects of artificial intelligence, understand the capabilities and the limitations. Then the use of AI tool is effective for the practical purpose. Okay. That is AI literacy. Through this, by using this, how we are effectively adopting the technology. AI literacy, a core educational priority, not just for IT professionals. This is essential for all learners. Okay. Workplace essential. 40% of the workspace still changing in 3 years. Because this has always happened. Because we see over a period of time or earlier, Google search was the big thing. Okay. So then with other tools we changed. Apart from not only from other tools, within this Google or online platform also different conversions like currency conversions, measurement conversions, Fahrenheit, Celsius to Fahrenheit, age calculator. There are so many things. Okay. We are giving that in Indian currency, which can tell you that what is the equivalent of other country values, money values. Similarly, many tools, small tools. Societal need, informed citizenship in AI integrated world that will happen. B2B issues, using the urban rural digital divides. Because this is India's source scheme, okay, through which it can help. Because nowadays, what they are learning, the city also almost they are trying to get that more or less same thing. Because the facilities which they are using it. Okay. Right. This is European Union AI literacy framework in the report which is submitted in 25 and 26. It is a joint initiative by European Commission and the support open source group. What they are saying that they are concentrating few things. Among few things, one is knowledge, skill, attitude. Knowledge in the sense, with respect to AI, they are very much interested to look into that how AI works. What is the capabilities and what is the limitations with respect to education. Skills, algorithmic thinking, prompt engineering, data literacy with respect to the skill development. attitude, ethical reasoning, critical thinking, responsible usage. Okay, even though all these things are there, there has to be a responsible user. Okay, because unless otherwise, there are the students they may not be interested if the study that state of order problems may also come. Okay. They literacy across the curriculum, not standalone subjects to one subject. It integrates across all the disciplines. STEM. Okay. Subjects, the algorithm design, data science foundations, that is the science engineering stream. Okay. The social science, AI impact on society, PPT, the policy, with respect to the humanities, ethics, creativity, human AI collaborations. Here, among and the remaining all field, domain-specific AI applications and the responsible usages. Okay. So the 5 core AI literacy competencies. AI helps to understanding how AI system works and the machine learning algorithm. The here the AI is the superset. Okay. Or within this, all these things are integrated. With respect to the technological scale, how the prompt engineering is works and the data literacy is affected. Or with this available data, how they are being used these things. Then the critical thing, evaluating the outputs, detects the bias or errors, all these things. Ethical reasoning, privacy, accountability, fairness, so critical transparency, all these things comes under ethical reasoning. Then the collaborative skills, human AI collaborations, how it is they can work together or in a hybrid manner, through which it can help the education or literacy improvement. Creating with AI, how, for example, how are using that the AI tools for helping that education or helping the audience to improve or to improve their understanding in the subject, through which they can create the teaching aids, slides, videos, all these things they can, are integrating the slides with the video, all these things they can do. Teaching student AI tool usages, how to use AI tools effectively and responsibly. Okay, that is very important. Co-creating with the AI for learner enhancement. Based on this, they can we can motivate them to create their own tools through which they can learning things will be enhanced or improved. Understanding AI limitations and the potential errors. So, what type of the problems may come if they are using the AI, or beyond the limits, what type of problems will come? Those things need to be understand that. Okay, those things be teach to the student. Responsible disclosure of AI generated content. Sometimes we need to give, sometimes we may not need to give, sometimes we may need to give in a proper manner. Okay, for example, not exactly the same. How we should give that to the internet facility to our kids. Because after some time, no need to use. Because during that after school hours, they can come home, they can do homework up to 10 o'clock or up to 11 o'clock, maybe up to 10, 9, 10. After that, no need to work on these things. Then, if they do something, then they may not get up in the next day morning. So, unnecessarily to create a problem. Then they cannot attend the next day class. So, there will be a consequence of problems may come. There are certain things how it should be provided. That's what first itself says that how to use it. That is very, very important. Not only AI, other facilities also. The privacy concerns and the data protection awareness. That is also very important. Digital citizenship in AI era. Beyond the technical skills, developing informed global citizens, understanding AI societal impact of the applications, evaluating information in AI augmented world, active participation in AI governance, recognition, bias, and promoting AI usages. Okay, these are all the things as a citizenship you should know or you should be aware of this AI era. First thing is that is understanding. Okay, then the evaluations, then the activations or participation, then the recognizing the errors, promoting the required things. Human skills AI cannot replicate. That is true. Okay. Empathy, emotional intelligence, understanding the human context. Maybe whatever the things technology or AI they can do, but some extent only, but it cannot be done. Creating problem solving, novel approach beyond the training data. So whatever the things we train, that much only it can do. After that, this cannot be done. Ethical judgment, making the principled decision under uncertainty. The critical things, after some beyond some limits, it cannot do that. Because the AI is working based on the training only. What the content to be trained, accordingly it is going to do or it is going to provide or it's going to work. Otherwise, it cannot. So we have to get in part of it. Okay. So similarly, the complex communications, nuances, resilience, negotiation, all these things, leadership and collaboration, inspiring teams, managing conflicts. These are the things which can be done by the human only. All other things which cannot be done by the system. Okay. Accessing AI literacy. Clear, measurable competency benchmarks. Privacy, ethical, conciseness, evaluation, practical skill demonstration, critical thinking assessment. So some extent they, for example, it is evaluating that the content, plagiarism tool. Okay, clear, measurable competence benchmarks. It gives in the percentage how much test to do. But similarly, this is can it may not be possible also. Okay. So this is happened in that survey. First literacy. Preparing educators for AI augmented teaching. The teacher education focusing on AI pedagogy. Train on responsive AI tool for innovations. Debugging guidance for AI in assessment. Because these are all the things very, very important. Building educator confidence and competences. Because these are all the way AI can help. Okay. AI can add the teaching abilities to the existing things. Those who are preparing accordingly, which can help and can make them to get ready for that next level. Ensuring that Repeatability, AI literacy access. Okay. Because the government they allotted 500 crore for the AI education centers. Digital inclusion, bridge the urban and rural divide through the accessible platforms. This is what they are government interested to provide the internet connection for, even including all the villages. Okay. That is the Roman policy. Marginalized communication, practice skill development programs. That is the reason. The reason they started all the lot of skill development centers. Okay. Government and private school unified AI literacy standards. They are interested to provide the AI education from the school level. Practical integration approach. Embedded learning, AI concept into the existing courses, specialized in collective subjects, dedicated AI literacy courses, cross-disciplinary projects, real-time AI application, interdisciplinary projects, industry partnership, the current AI tools and the practices. Because the industries, they are making the products. So where we can apply that the AI practices or the AI tools to improve that production process, through which they can reduce the time. These are all the documents which they prepared in different times. May 2025, they made it the draft framework for releasing the for constitutions. Okay, these things shall not required. Just ChatGPT education enterprise solution for the campuses. Because of this, the university can available university-wide license for the student and the faculty, institutional account with the privacy and the productions through which they can monitor, integrating with the learning management systems. They can integrate with the like ERP, SAP, and other things. Secure feature for the academic environment. Okay. So they can use the software and the tools accordingly. They can use only within their schools. Okay. Faculty use cases, the content and the curriculum. Discussion on topic generation, creating engaging learning formats. Okay. Because of this, the contents are available. The learning prompts can be improved. The case study development, the real world applications, scenarios, they get used to prepare the case study or the problem statement. Reading list curations, organized learning resources. They can use the resources in an organized manner. Okay, in a proper manner. Lecture outline creations, structured course content they can create, or the course content flow they can make it in a proper manner. Example the problem set, diverse practice questions. Because of that, the many practical and the practice questions they can make it based on the teaching content. Automated quiz generations, the multiple format and the difficulty level also in different, like basic, moderate, the advanced. Different learning abilities or level of the students, they can prepare the quiz and the questions. Rubric development, detailed grading standards, they can use it. The examination creation, diverse question types. This is what I told you, that different levels, different types of questions, as the following, MCQ, quiz, something that can do that. Fast feedback tracking and checking the assessment methods. Okay. These are the things possible. Personalized to the student tutoring. Because of this, 24/7 availability for the student asking the questions, which can be clarified. Sorry. Okay. Slide is visible. Okay. So, adaptive feedback based on the student response. So, based on the student response, the feedback, the content can be modified, changed. Language is supports under the explanation. There will be a different language supports teacher. Review and career guidance. Nowadays, they are using the tools for the resume preparations, right? They allow writing some other content preparation also. They are using that tools. Creating the interactive learning experience. So the interactive learning is based on the scenario based. If the complex problem is there, they will use the simulations because they cannot have that the real one. Okay, because it may be a costly also. So for that, they will use the simulation to demonstrate. Then the virtual database, AI playing with the multiple perspective to demonstrate the things, the virtual debates which can be used. The science experiment design, the lab environment can be simulated. Okay, lab simulation planning, case study analysis, guided exploration of the real scenarios. Based on the real scenarios, they can give that the different solutions. Case studies. Enhancing the accessibility through AI, multilingual translation, the content in multiple language. Because sometimes we may have seen that we are able to see that the movie, the below, there will be a text. Okay. So through which we are able to understand, even though while watching the Hindi movie or different other movies, there will be a text. Simplified explanation, the complex concept made accessible. Diverse learning modalities, whether it may be a text or visual or conceptual approach, or these things are possible. Inclusive of design, supporting diverse learner needs. There may be different heterogeneous group. Accordingly, stimulate the different approach. ChatGPT for the faculty and research productivity. Brand application tracking and the refinement. What I told you that by preparing the content, for preparing the document, we are using that ChatGPT helps. Some people to prepare the content we are using it. Some people they are using for refining the document. Okay. Once after preparing, you find the mistakes, or to check the flow, or to rewrite the content, all these things we have to use. Research proposal structuring, they are using it. Literature survey, they are using it. Writing improvements and the editing solutions, they are using it. This is what I told you that. Writing also, or to improve the writing also, they are using it. Automating administrative tasks. I told you we have seen that earlier. Grading assistance, streamlining the evaluation process. Attendance tracking, automated recommendations. For example, you can capture the photo through which you can mark that. Scheduling optimization, the classes and the examination timings, the classes with the classrooms, alerting the classrooms based on the student strength and based on the facilities required, can alert the classrooms. Report generation, the quick institutional outputs. Okay. Time saving, because of all these things, the teachers can save time. Freeing faculty for teaching and monitoring. Because of that time, the faculty can use it for teaching and clearing doubts, monitoring, helping, interacting with the students. Handling AI generated with the student reduction tools, coordinating, okay, policy development, the guidelines on AI usages, differentiation, AI as tool versus academic dishonesty. So, what are the purpose that AI tools have to use? What are the purpose AI is not to use? The student education, responsible AI use, all these things, the students should work on it, or the students need to understand. AI generated student work. Beyond ChatGPT, AI tools ecosystem. Cloud 3 series, enhanced reasoning and longer context. Specialized tool, domain specific applications. Because there are some tools which are available for coding, there are some tools that are available for designing, there are some tools for the language purpose. This is what they are saying there. Multimodal AI tools, images, audios, text processing, seamless classroom management, they are using this. LMS. Teaching prompt engineering, the critical skill for AI literacy. How to effectively communicate with AI systems. Clear, specific instruction formulation, context provision for better responses, iterative refinement of request, output quality evaluation and replica. Okay. These are all the how to effectively communicate with the AI system. This should be clear under the specific instruction. Okay. Assessment redesigning in AI and school learning. Higher order thinking. Definitely there is a higher order thinking. Focus on analysis and test synthesis. Collaborative projects. Human AI co-creations. That is hybrid for the human and machine. Okay. Real world applications. The practical problem solving. Process for product. Doing AI tool use ethics. Mitigation, ChatGPT limitations, complex problem solving, human instructor involvement requirements, effort, personalized support, combine AI with the artificial intelligence, advanced debugging, the battery guidance for the technical issues, verification. Students can verify okay. Best practices for effective integration. Start with supplementary support, not replacement. Okay. A which can be or A or two can be used as a supplemental support. Okay. Which can add or you can use this as a additional resource, but it cannot be replaced. Either it may be a teacher or it may be a doctor or it may be a professor. A cannot replace the the domain experts. Maintain the human connection with the mentorship, transparent communication, AI use policy, evaluate and iterate based on outcomes. So these are all the best practices for effective AI integration. Okay. So at least before using or implementing, they should keep in this mind. University case studies, AI implementation, programming courses, ChatGPT for the concept explanation. Okay. Whether it may be strong or basics or intermediate level. Debating also, but it's limited. Writing courses, we have AI which helps to develop the content. Research, grant writing supports literatures. Then the campus operations, administrative efficiency and gains. That way it is. Building institutional frameworks, creating the policy development, training programs, technical infrastructures, support system, policy development, AI using or usage guidelines within the organization or in the campus, training program, how we can students are still what they supposed to have, how we can get rid of and technical infrastructure, how we schedule or how it can be defend the policies. Help desk and pedagogical guidance. Faculty development strategies, they can go to the different phases. The first one is AI literacy foundations. Okay. With maybe hands-on training. The foundations they can provide you to the hands-on training. Then with the respective subject specification, design level. And the advanced integration in the assessment design. And the fourth one is mentoring and the pure learning communities. Okay. So initial level, then with the specific subject, then the advanced integration, all these projects and all these things will come in this. Then the mentoring. Peer level communications with the community levels. The student AI literacy programs, orientations, workshops, and then the curriculum integration and the peer learning. The orientation, what they are supposed to do that? AI tools availability and the policies. What are the tools available? What should be the policy? Then the workshop, the prompt engineering and the responsibility. This is kind of things. The curriculum integration, AI literacy across courses. Peer learning is student leading, AI exploration and groups. Okay. Customized AI for your discipline. How the AI can be customizing for your discipline. The first one is with respect to subject. Okay. So the algorithm design, code generation, problem solving, this type of things which can be used. Then the second one is the humanities. It is like brainstorming. That is to understand the different persons' views, like, or we can say that ice-breaking session kind of things. Okay. Through which we can understand that different needs or the kind of things. Okay, literacy analysis, writing feedback. Through this way only we can get to know that different persons we. The business and the social science, case analysis, case studies, survey, research support, and review submission, the data interpretation, all these things they can do that. The first one with respect to not only the algorithm related things, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, all these things. Technology infrastructure requirement, integration, security, scalability, and support. Integration, they will connect with all the compatible tools, R20 tools, ChatGPT, RLM, RLMS. Okay. Security. So after connecting, they have to provide the securities, the limitations. Then the required tool can be scalable. And the institutional wide access. The whole first maybe you are in like department, then the institute. Then after implementing, the periodically they have to conduct the training, support. If there is anything problems or the flaw, they have to troubleshoot those problems. That is GPT. Saying implementation success. What way you can measure? You can measure the learning outcomes. To do the student performance and the improvements, enhanced metrics, the student participation and the satisfaction, faculty adaptation, how are usage rate, integration of depth by the faculty, you can understand. AI literacy growth, the student competency level through which you can assess. The institutional AI policies, the permitted uses, disclosures requirements, academic integrity, and data protection. These are all the basic steps. Okay. I think is it clear? I don't know. Are you able to hear? Okay. Some people are responding. Budget and resource planning. Okay. Because these are all the different level. In the enterprise, the individual level, because we have seen that different ChatGPT account, right? Premium, free, like similarly, ChatGPT we do our enterprise solutions. The faculty development of workshop, IT infrastructures and the starting, evaluating the effectiveness and the accordingly, they can plan the budgets and the resource plan. Managing the institutional changes, the stakeholders engagement, okay, addressing faculty concerns and resistance, celebrating the early adopter success, continuous communications. These are all the way they are managing the changes in the institution. Building a partnership with the sustainability. So the education that can have that to the partnership with the industry, inter-institutional network, sharing the good practices with other institutions. Researchers, the evaluating AI effectiveness in learnings. Then the government labs, R&Ds, NITs, AICTEs, with the other group of organizations, they can have the network. That's what building partnership for the sustainability. Key challenges in the AI enhanced learning. Academic integrity, distinguished AI generated from the original work. Over resilience, potential reduction in the critical thinking enhancement. Equity, unequal access to AI for resources. Faculty harassment, resistance on the lack of confidence. Quality assurance, maintaining the educational standards. These are all the key challenges in the AI enhanced learning environment. Ethical framework, what are the things they will use that? Because we have seen all these points, we have seen that already. Transparency, clear disclosure of AI usages in teaching, that should be there. Fairness, equal access, no discriminatory implementation. If you are giving, you give. If you are not giving, you don't give. That's all. Accountability, responsible should be there. Okay, responsible for AI generated content quality. Because for the assignment, we should not take that with the AI generated content, right? The policy, student data protection and confidentiality, that should be there. Autonomy, preserving the human decisions making in educations, that should be there. These are the ethical point of view. Data privacy under the production. There are different data, the student data, protecting the personal information, that should be there. Learning analytics, because the student performance data should be there. The two things, personal data and the student performance data. And the complaints also there, the regulations, the great point. If there is any complaints they are giving that, you have to protect that, the person. You have to concentrate only at the content of the complaint. Consent, the transparent data usages and the agreement. This is with the privacy and the data protection point of view. Hybrid, both are integrating more than one. The hybrid, technology enhanced, but profoundly human-centered, personalized adaptability learning for every students. Collaborative human AI co-creation and shared learning. Real-time, immediate feedback and the performance adjustment. Ethical, grounded in responsible and inclusive practices. Okay. This is the point in that happened in this teacher in the classroom, tomorrow's classroom. Okay. So path forward. The education is not about replacing the human teachers with AI, but empowering the educators to teach more effectively and equipping students with the critical, creative, and ethical competence for an AI-driven teachers. This is very, very important. We are not replacing the human teachers, but we are empowering the teachers with a lot of potentials. Redefining the teachers from the information delivers to learning architects. Old model, the teachers as a subject matter transmitters. New model, the teacher as a learning experience designer. Okay, you see that. It's a transform. AI role. So what is AI role? Handles the roughly content delivery and the grading. Okay. So the teacher role is focusing on the mentorship, critical thinking, human development. Okay, that will help to develop the students. Outcome is more meaningful human-teacher interaction. Okay, the output is definitely it will be fruitful. New teacher competence in the AI augmented classroom. Because of that, AI literacy Understanding AI capabilities and the limitation ethics. We already told. Pedagogical design, crafting AI-enhanced learning experience, data interpretation, teaching learning skill, analytics for personalization, ethical leadership, guiding the responsible AI use, emotional intelligence, building human connection in tech-mediated learning. So all these things, the new teacher competence will improve the support rate. Effective teachers, AI is a future handle 24/7 personalized learning support. While teacher monitors the progress of the students. AI is a content generator, we already told it. AI is a feedback provider. AI is the analytical engine. Okay. So the effective teachers, they can utilize AI in these ways. Managing transition concern, will AI replace the teachers? We already told you that AI is not going to replace the teacher. The concern is that the job displacement and the loss of teaching economy. Reality, AI increase the teacher value handling routine tasks. Evidence, educators see AI is enhancing their teachings. Supporting strategy is comprehensive professional development and change management. The overall outcome is that the teachers spend more time on meaningful human interactions and the mentorship. Okay. So effectively, teacher can do the content delivery. Teacher will lead the ethical, thoughtful integration of AI in education. Their role evolves from the content deliveries to wisdom keepers, learning architects. We ensure AI serves as the humanity educational aspirants. This the future belongs to educators who embrace AI not as a threat, but also partners in creating the transformative learning experience. So no need to worry, AI is not going to be a threat, it is a transformative learning experience. All these things related to this, I'm completing it. Do you have any doubts? I completed. If you have any doubts, please ask me. I will try my best. Hello. If you have any doubt, please you ask me. Somebody is trying to speak, I think, but are they muted or? Avani is something is trying to say, but it is muted, I think so. Please check your mic volume if you want to ask. Hello. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, tomorrow I will meet you. The other.
Sir, can I ask one question? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Can I ask one question?
Ah.
Yes, I just wanted to ask that in ethical framework for AI in education, uh, there was a
Madam,
point,
AI was.
pardon me,
Can you repeat?
ethical framework for AI in education.
Oh.
There was a point written that transparency, the clear disclosure of AI use in teaching. So if we are working in an institute, all these policies are to be decided by the institution as a whole, or individual say teacher or faculty can also decide the policy.
Because the policy, it is the policy in the sense, madam, it is the user, right?
Yes.
For both user, teacher as well as the student.
Okay.
Both.
And there is one more point written: autonomy, that is preserving human decision making in education. Autonomy,
That is
preserving
the
human.
privacy, madam.
Yes, yes,
Because as an individual, some extent they can have the privacy, right?
yes, yes. So the autonomy lies with the teacher itself
Teacher
in making.
as well as the user also, the student also.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Thank
that
you.
is not the privacy, the individual privacy.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes, madam. Usually it was in the last point in the column.
yes.
Yes, madam. Any other doubt? Okay.
Uh,
So let's go.
Yes, yes, sir. We sincerely extend our heartfelt thanks to you, sir, for kindly sparing your valuable time and for delivering an enlightening session. The insights shared by you on the evolving responsibilities of educators in the context of artificial intelligence added significant value to this faculty development program and were greatly enriching for the participants. We are truly grateful for your gracious contribution and support. On behalf of the organizing committee and all the participants, we once again convey our sincere thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Because someone you mentioned that please little louder. Definitely tomorrow I will speak louder. Thank you. Thank you. I
Thank
am
you.
leaving. I will meet you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. We once again extend a warm and respectful welcome to our esteemed resource person, Dr. S. Mutraj Kumar Sir, MIT Campus Chennai. We sincerely appreciate your continued association and valuable contribution to this faculty development program, sir. We are grateful to you, sir, for being with us today to handle the session on collaborative and project-based learning with AI support. I now humbly invite our esteemed resource person to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to another person here. Am I visible to my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes. Good evening to one and all person here. So it is a pleasure to here today as a part of ATAL Faculty Development Program. So today I will talk about collaborative and project-based learning with AI support. So why pedagogy must evolve for the collaborative project-based learning with AI support? That's first is a digital first learner, then beyond traditional lectures and industry demand and embrace a active learning method. So first is a digital learners. Today's students are digital native record for engaging interactive learning, the experiences beyond traditional lectures. For example, the earlier when we are the student, we used to sit quietly and listen to the teacher, take notes and prepare for the exams. But today's students are different, and they use the mobile phones, AI tools, and the internet daily. So, if you reach in the same old day, and the students may pass exams, but but they may not be ready for the industry. So, the pedagogy must change from teaching, taking to the student doing the thinking. So, the beyond the traditional lectures, the passive listener to no longer sufficient. So, active participants and hands-on engagement are crucial for the effective learners. The next is the industrial demand. The modern industry priorities teamwork and critical thinking and practical problem solving skills in their new hires. The next, embrace active learning. The shifting to active learning methodologies and the faster, deeper understanding and better retention of complex concepts. The next, another is a power of collaborative learning. The collaborative learning is an educational approach where the students work together in group of achieve a common goal. The three common goals for learning together: teacher as facilitator, enhance management. So, for example, first is a learning together. The student actively participate in discussion and share the deserved ideas and contribute to group tasks and moving beyond the individual study. The next is teacher as a facilitator. The instructor roles transform from a primary lecturer to a guide, mentor, and a resource, fostering the student learn discovery. The next is enhanced engagement. This approach is significantly boosts student engagement, communication skills, and mutual support, and leading to deeper understanding. The simple example. Instead of passively listening to the lecturer, the student is collaboratively sitting to solve the problem and the complex problem as a group, and the discussing strategy and dividing the task. And the another simple classroom story for the collaborative learning. The earlier when the students imagine the classroom very difficult problem is given. The one students try to alone and struggle, but now imagine the same problem given to the group of 4 students. One student understanding the theory, another student is a good at coding, the another student asks the good questions, and the fourth students content ideas. So together they solve the problem. This is a collaborative learning mechanism. So it's a very useful for the students. The next main topic is what is project-based learning mechanism. In our project-based learning mechanism, learning by doing, then applied theory, so applying any problems, then next foster innovations. Now let's take another example for the project-based learning. Instead of teaching machine learning only through slides, for example, now I am teaching only through the slides. So we are asking to the students to build a small project like predicting student performance. So students learn how to collect the data and then how to train a model. So identifying the model and analyze what data applying. So these are the how to train a model and how to analyze the results. So these 3 basic idea applying for one machine learning project. So this learning says longer because the students learn by doing. The first learning by doing. So project-based learning involves the students taking a real-world problem and creating tangible solutions. So day to day, you are facing any problem. So based on the problem, so we can find the new solutions. So analyze and applying any algorithm, then some innovations. So the one student giving one idea, the another student giving another idea. So for example, 4 in one group means So 4 students giving the 4 idea. So finally, any one of the new innovations. So the based on the ideas, applying any one of the theory, let's say theoretical part, otherwise algorithms. So students applying a theoretical knowledge directly to practical scenario and bringing the gap between the classroom and reality. That's a real world solutions. There is a new innovation. So this approach encourage the creative problem solving and critical thinking and the independent learning mechanisms. So another one more, for example, machine learning problem. This is I told the 4 students. So one students giving the idea, another students giving another approach, otherwise coding context. Then another is giving the good questions, another is giving the some content idea. So this is the main task for collaborative learning mechanism. So another one more example for, instead of merely studying the natural language processing NLP theorem, nowadays the new research trend for NLP. So student might build a functional chatbot and integrating various NLP concept into the practical applications. So some students facing any reading, otherwise any understanding language problem is using new chatbot, otherwise they build their own chatbot mechanism using their own problems. Then some challenges for traditional pedagogy method. So in the one size fit all approach, another is limited student engagement, another is a lack of real world skills, another is faculty workload. So one side for first fit all approach, there is a traditional methods often fail to create diverse and learning styles and space, then leading to disengagement for many students. So some students busy with another work, so that type of mechanisms. The next another is a limited student engagement. The battery learning can result in lower motivation and special understanding as the students are not actively involved in their education. So for example, in your 4 students doing one project means some students involved more, some students is not interested. So based on the student involvement is very must for the application solving. The another is a lack of real world skills. The focus on often remains theoretical and leaving the students unprepared for the practical demands and collaborative environment for the modern workplaces. Then next is a faculty workload. There's a manual evaluation and individualized support in larger classes space and significant burden on faculty, so limited their ability to innovative. So some problem with the traditional teaching mechanism, there's a faster learning is get blurred. Slow learners get confused, and faculty repeat the same explanation again and again. This is also one type of traditional teaching problem. The next is a AI transformative role in educational. There's a AI teaching assistant, enable personalized learning, and dual support system and automatic respective task learning. The first is a AI as a teacher assistant. The AI tools can act as virtual assistants, supporting both faculty and students in various capabilities. Then enabling personalized learning, the AI adapt content and space and the pace to individual student needs, ensuring a more efficient and tailored learning experience. The other two support learning mechanism, the AI aids to educator in course management and provides the students with immediate feedback and personalized learning path. Then last, automated respective task. From the grading the cues to answer frequently answer questions, and AI can automate the task and freely freeing up faculty for more impactful work. The next is some key AI tools for modern education. This tools explicitly how AI can be integrated in academic setting to enhance learning and teaching. The first is a chatbot for quickly explanation and brainstorming ideas and providing instant feedback on written assignments. The next is Gamma AI assistant. That's a Gamma AI assistant in rapid presentation and document creation, streamlining content delivery for educators. The next is GitHub Copilot. That's offering AI-powered coding suggestions and completion, significantly adding students in programming courses. Then last, Google Classroom AI features integrate AI to offer smart grading, personalized assignment recommendations, and improve communications. This think of AI like assistant teachers sitting there beside every student. When the students have doubt at night, otherwise AI can explain it. And when the student is afraid to ask the basic question, the AI help without judgment. Some AI and modern pedagogy mechanism, that's interactive learning and optimized faculty time and improved learning outcome and future ready students. The first is interactive learning. That's a AI to make learning dynamic and engaging, moving beyond the static content. Then optimized faculty time. Then automating administrative tasks allow faculty to force more on teaching and mentorship. The next, improve learning outcomes. That's a personalized feedback and adaptive content lead to better comprehension and academic success. The next, future ready students. They prepare the students with the essential skill for a increasingly AI-driven professional landscape. The next, integrating AI in the classroom. That's for the first practice. That's a define learning objective. Then start small and training faculty and student and emphasize ethical use. So first is a define learning objective. That's a clearly articulate how AI tools with support specific educational goals. The next is a start small. That's a begin with a single AI tool or a specific project to test efficiency and gather feedback. Then third is a train faculty and students, provide workshop and resource to ensure everyone is comfortable and proficient with the tools. And then finally, fourth is emphasize ethical use. They educate on responsible AI use, data privacy, and avoiding the plagiarism. Sometimes the copy and paste for the students. So the successful integration requires through full planning and continuous adaptation to harness of AI full functional. Then future learning learning is a collaborative project-based and AI-powered. There's a empowered students and innovative pedagogy and workforce readiness. The AI collaborative project-based AI method is a embracing collaborative and project-based learning augmented by AI, prepare the students for their dynamic future. The first empowered the students. The students become active participants in their learning journey and developing critical thinking and collaborative skill. The next, innovative pedagogy. The faculty are empowered with tools to create a richer, more personalized learning experience. Then workforce readiness. That's some graduates are better equipped with practical and analytical skills demanded by evolving industries. The next is AI-supported collaborative learning. Then exploring how artificial intelligence enhances students' teamwork while keeping the teacher as a center of learning experience. Thinking AI like adjusted teacher sitting beside every student when the student has a doubt at night. So AI in collaborative learning, students work in group. When they are struggle, the AI gives hint and non-final answers. Then first, transforming group learning with AI. The artificial intelligence is resolving how students work together in educational setting The next, rather than replacing the essential role of teachers, AI act as intelligent assistants that guidance students through collaborative challenges. And this technology empower peer-to-peer learning by providing instant support, encouraging meaningful dialogue, and helping teams navigate complex problems together. The next 4 ways AI enhancing the group learning. First is a discussion question, then concept clarification, and multiple viewpoints, and real-time assistance. The first is a discussion questions. The generates through provide the prompt and spark meaningful conversations and keep teams engaged with course materials. The concept clarification break down the difficult topics into digestible explanations. So based on the explanation only, the concept clarifying to the students. The helping students craft challenges material together. So nowadays the teachers explaining the PPT, but they did not give the notes. So that time the students struggling. So helping students grasp some challenging material together. The next is a multiple viewpoints, then offering the diverse perspective on the problem, then encouraging the teams to consider the alternative approach and solutions. So sometimes we are giving the PPT, but not explanation. So on the time also students are struggling. So some seminar, otherwise another alternative solutions, otherwise teach to another students. That's a multiple viewpoints mechanism. Then real-time assistance in the resolving the group doubt instantly, keeping collaborative momentum going without waiting for the instructor availability. So, for example, one staff is handling one subject, but some group study, otherwise group doubt, some project work, otherwise any problem. Some staff members, I don't know idea because this is not my research area, this is not my work. So that time the students are struggling. So this type of problem not occurring on the AI tools because they are giving the questions, the AI tools fetching the answer and give to the students. It's a very easily students. So and this is avoiding the waiting for the instructor availability and some physical problems. So they are focused to AI tools. Then another AI action and the collaborative scenario in the classroom. There's a team formation and concept clarification and code debugging and idea generation. Some students, for example, you are telling the form a group for the students. All the low learner students form one group. At the same time, all the faster, otherwise high learner students, otherwise topper students in one group. So all the toppers in group means they will complete quickly and they will solve all the problems very easily. But some slow learner students will struggle. So there's a team formation is very, very important. Students are divided into collaborative team for a project-based assignment. For example, topper in on first student, then another next level second student, the next another level. For example, 9-pointer is otherwise there's a 9-pointer based on the CGP 9-pointer A group, then 8-pointer is B group, then 7-pointer is C group, the next 6-pointer is D group. So totally 4 students in 4 different learners. So A, B, C, D. So now the group formation. The slow learner, for example, D group member, that's a academic purpose, otherwise academic activity is slow learner, but there's a project based, otherwise real time problem solving, that's a very intelligent. So they are giving new ideas. For example, the student giving one idea, they are applying one algorithm, and then the result is not come. So suddenly the students will think another idea and give. So this type of ideas from the coming from the slow learners. So the slow learner also a part of the team means this is a very good. It's a team formation. Then another is a concept clarifications. In the same example, the 4 students in one group, sometimes the topper is dominating character. So that time, the slow learner giving one idea means this not considered for the idea. So there is a very difficult, otherwise at the same time, it's a struggle for the students. So it's a concept clarification mechanism. So all the students giving the equal priority and equal concept clarification mechanism. So this is a physical mechanism that the AI help to team understanding foundation concept and terminology need for their project. So the topper mostly accessing the AI tools, so giving idea and then tell to the other group members. The sometimes accepted, otherwise not accepted. Then some students giving another idea, others another method. So there is a concept clarification mechanism using the AI tools. The next code debugging. One student giving, for example, develop the Python coding. Another student giving develop the Java, otherwise JSON. There's some different approaches. So team relatively AI assistant to in identifying and fixing error in their programming work. So based on the language selection, there's code debugging mechanism. The next is the idea generation. The AI suggests a creative approach and solutions when team encounter roadblocks. So, for example, there's a 6 months project, 3 months project. There is a roadmap at the same time. There's a giving some solutions. So nowadays, simple example, you are searching any ChatGPT or any mechanism means first giving the first approach, otherwise some recommended system. Another some similar type of answer also. This is the idea generation method. So the same based on the AI idea generation, the 4 in group means the 4 different idea, otherwise 4 different concept clarification mechanism. The simple project-based learning mechanism in classroom. Another is example for the project-based learning, the virtual group mentor. So the first physically class member, the next is a virtual group mentor. So the compared to the physical member based on the mentor availability, otherwise idea concept, because some students from the hostel, some students from the day scholar. So beyond the office hours, the day scholar students go to the home. So that time the hostel students not able to communicate the day scholar students through WhatsApp, otherwise any connecting activity. So, but in our AI tools means always available. There's a AI provide 24/7 support and ensuring team can make progress whether in the classroom or working remote after the office hours. That's a one type of virtual group mentor. Another is judgment-free zone. Students feel comfortable asking basic questions without fear of embarrassment, creating a safe learning environment. Because I am asking the questions in ChatGPT, they are providing answers. There is a one-to-one mechanism. But say in the same, I am in classroom, I am asking questions to my mentor. So mentor providing the answer. First, I feel comfortable to asking question. Another is there is a public forum. That's a judgment-free zone mechanism. The next is a personalized pacing. So support both quick learner and those who are need more time. Then ensure every team members can contribute meaningfully. So I am asking first ChatGPT some question, and they're providing answer, but I cannot understand the answer. So I will give another one more query, give the simple example, otherwise simple sentence. So then again one more time give the another answer. The simple another real example, otherwise I paste your example. For example, we have the student name list, the Excel sheet. For example, and the group A students around 60 members in one sheet. Another same group 60 members, that's the enrolled student list. So 2 different Excel sheet. This Excel sheet, the 2 different Excel sheet, but same student name. Older days, we are applying the Excel sheet means you just paste one column in Excel sheet. Another column is another the enrolled name list. You match the 2 columns and you identify the unenrolled students list. That's for the our days now. Otherwise, nowadays we are using the same practical physical mechanism. But nowadays Sometimes we are giving, you upload the first list in ChatGPT, otherwise any tool, another upload another sheet, you just to give missed student list. That time we got the name, just name only. Then another time I will give the, we give the student list number and name. Okay, that time give the list number name. Another time I give the another one more question, give the table forward, otherwise give the same Excel sheet. Then at that time, third time. So the simple solution, but whatever we want, otherwise based on the requirement, we are giving again new questions, and the tool will give the answers. So based on the customer satisfaction, otherwise based on the question answer, the AI tool will provide. That's a personalized basing mechanisms. The next thing, the faculty role in AI assisted collaborative. The teacher remains the essential architect of learning experience, guiding how AI tools enhance rather than replace human instruction. So this designing meaningful task and monitor AI usage and encourage the critical thinking and prevent over dependence. So every faculty role in AI, is a very important. The faculty role becomes more important, not less comparing. So faculty decide what problem to give and how AI should be used and how learning should be evaluated. So this three is very important for faculty role in AI tool. So designing meaningful tasks, creating the assignment and leverage AI while requiring the critical thinking and collaboration. So the simple example I already told. I upload the 2 Excel sheet. I give a simple question, give them unenrolled students. But really, I want the table. But my question is different. So designing meaningful task mechanism. The next, monitoring AI usage. Track how to students interact with AI tools to ensure the productivity learning behavior. So mostly nowadays the students, for example, in our lab, we are giving any question, means that's a on the spot question, but they are typing. We are dictating questions at the same time they are typing the ChatGPT. Then just to enter the enter key, the ChatGPT providing the answer. Just copy and paste. This is a very unlearning mechanism. So keep on monitoring the AI usage mechanism. So how to students interact with the AI tools and really they are learning from the AI tools. That's very important for the faculty. Then another is encouraging the critical thinking. The guide the student to question and analyze AI output rather than accepting them blindly. So for example, some students in the review, otherwise project Viva panel, and the staff suggest, otherwise staff opposing this is not possible to implement C coding, otherwise some embedded system coding mechanism. But the student, no ma'am, it's possible ma'am. I have the solution ma'am. I have implemented ma'am. So they are arguing arguing during the Viva panel, otherwise in the review. That's unethical for the mechanism, because there is a blindly touring the blindly learning from the AI tools. That's at that time we will guide the students to question how to analyze the AI questions, because for example in nowadays the project-based learning, we are giving one IEEE paper, otherwise any transaction paper. You identify the new idea, otherwise you change the idea. Some students really think and change the ideas. Some students mostly read the conclusions and future works. They did not implement the future work. So they told the future works are, so we are planning to implement it. But some students just upload the paper into the ChatGPT, otherwise any tool, we give you the idea. So there's a blindly understanding, otherwise blindly giving the ideas, because ChatGPT giving idea, but sometimes not relevant to the project. Because in our project, one application for the medical, another application for another transport, otherwise any real world application. But simply smart read the smart city means they'll give the common problem solutions. That's difficult for the project based learning mechanism. So that time we are give the idea to otherwise guide to the students. The next is prevent over the dependence. Set the boundaries to ensure the AI remains a tool, not to crush the ideas. It's a very important for faculty role in AI collaborations. Then another is some benefits for the students: the better teamwork skill, improved communication, and higher confidence and deeper understanding. So there is a student point of side, that's a better teamwork skills. And sometimes the students want to build a chat GPT. So AI helped in choosing the project idea and understanding algorithm and fixing errors and writing documents. This is very easy for the students, but the student must understand every step. At the same time, faculty review the progress regularly. For example, students help in choosing the project idea from the AI tool, and the student same understanding the problem from the AI tool. Then they complete and they have completed the project. But the staff and the faculty members did not review the progress regularly. So at the end of the Viva panel, otherwise last review panel, they will implement and they will show the some results. But we know we know that result is not possible. Otherwise, that result is wrong. We know that result from only the AI tool. Otherwise, some blindly existing algorithm implementations, implementation algorithms. We have identified the errors. So that time we tell the students this is wrong, but the students are not accepted. But the same from the first review and second review, we review the faculty review the process regularly is very useful for the students. At the same time, the better teamwork skills, students develop stronger collaboration ability through a structured group interaction supported by the AI guidance. Sometimes then some question answering tools also available. So they are giving the questions means they will give the answer for the two different tool, otherwise two different instruction from the online. That's also the online forum. Let's say some, for example, the AWS question answer forums. The same questions, 3 or 4 different answers. More than 3 or 4 answers also available, but it's a relevant answers also available and recommendations. So there's a better teamwork skills. The next is improved communication. There's a team practice, articulating ideas clearly and listening actively as they work together, challenges together. The next is a higher confidence. Then immediate AI support reduce the fraction and build the students' self assurance in tracking the difficult materials. Then deeper understanding, multiple explanation and collaborative problem solving related to deeper understanding mechanism. So this has a very important benefits for the students. Another benefit for the faculty, so reducing the respective explanation, better classroom engagement, and easier multi-team monitoring, and focus on higher order teaching. First is reduce the respective explanation. The AI handles the common question and freezing the instruction to focus on complex topics and the individual student needed. So based on the explanation, whether the individual students need or not. Then better classroom engagement, the students arrived prepared with AI assistant background knowledge, enabling riser class discussions. The next is easier multi-team mentoring. The instructor can effectively support multiple groups simultaneously with AI providing baseline assistance. That's a multi-team mentoring. So, for example, the same smart city problem, so one team doing one work, for example, transport mechanism, another team is working in medical mechanism, otherwise some another TNEB work. So multiple together, multi-team mentoring mechanism. There's a focus on higher order teaching. There's a more time for analyzing, synthesis, and evaluating activity rather than basic content delivery. So mostly basic content is available because, for example, in our C program is some basic fundamental mechanism. Otherwise, in our Java project development means some basic fundamental. Otherwise, some library files is available. So we need not to focus on more time for analyzing, synthesizing. That's a higher order teaching mechanism. So directly we teach the package mechanism and some real-time application mechanisms. The next the power of collaborations plus AI. The AI support but not replaces. The human interaction remains central. Then enhance learning efficiency. So the AI support and the artificial intelligence enhance the collaborative learning, but never substitute for the teacher expertise or human connections. And so mostly the AI tool providing the solutions and problem solving, coding, and testing. So all the mechanism, even documentation also. But and there's a manual corrections and manual communication is missing for the project-based learning because mostly the students giving idea for the to the faculty means whether the idea is correct or not. So only the judgment from the faculty members. So there's a not support. For example, answering question means yes or no. Otherwise, is a recommendation is possible. Otherwise, is another option available. That's only from the AI tool. But in our faculty or mentor, only providing whether the solution is correct or not. Otherwise, it is possible to implement. Not possible to implement the correct solutions. That's a AI support and human support. The next is a human interaction remains central. The peer discussion and teacher guidance and face-to-face problem solving continue to be the heart of efficient and effective education mechanism. So peer discussion, there's a group activity and teacher guidance. So a project team member, 2 or 3 members giving the idea to the teacher. So the teacher decide whether which idea is better, otherwise which idea to implement easily and is useful to the students. That's otherwise, and that's based on the project title, whether the problem is relevant to title and it is solvable to real world problems. At the same time, say face-to-face problem solving continues. So from the student idea, the mentor is whether it is solvable, and that's a continuous monitoring mechanism. That's a very effective education mechanism. And the third is enhanced learning efficiency. The AI accelerate understanding and remove barriers. That's allowing students to deliver the deeper into the meaningful collaborative work. So next is moving together. The future of education combines the best of human teaching with intelligent technology and creating learning environment where the students can drive through collaborations. So that's AI tool mechanisms. The next project-based learning with AI support is a transforming education through the intelligent project guidance and real-world problem solving. So nowadays we are facing day-to-day more and more problem. So for example, first we are solving one problem for one issue, and then another problem occurring. So every day, day-to-day life, small problem, otherwise small issue will come. Very important for project-based learning with AI support. So transforming education through the intelligent project guidance. Then how AI enhance a project-based learning mechanism? Then AI artificial intelligence serve as an intelligent company through the entire project journey, offering contextualized support for initial concept to final presentations. Is a very important for the project-based learning because first one tool giving the idea and some solution and documentation, but that mechanism is not accepted the review panel. Otherwise, some hardware based on the hardware not supporting the code implementation code part. So at that time, we are the student will ask another like next question in our laptop is this is the requirements. So there is a hardware and RAM. So that time you give another there's a error is coming, so you give another solution. So you give another solution, but that solution also not support for our project. So that's a very difficult for the project implementation mechanism. Every time first you are initially you are searching and identify the problem and coding and documentation, but keep on complete the project until 2 months or 3 months, otherwise simply 1 month. You are giving any questions again, otherwise new idea questions. That time also give the answers and solvable problem. So entire project implementation, there is a whole communication is very important. So student gain access to personalized guidance that adapt to their learning space while maintain academic rigor and fostering the critical thinking skills. Then 5 stages for this is the main for project life cycle. The 5 stages of AI support project: the problem identification, literature review, design and development, and testing and improvement, and documentation and presentation. So nowadays, mostly students identifying any problem, but they did not focus on the literature survey. They directly go for the implementation part. Mostly the AI tools give the idea and code and then final documentation. That is not a correct format for the project implementation. So in our project implementation, the main 5 stages, that's a life cycle is very important for the AI support projects. The problem identification, first defining the meaningful challenges. So based on the challenges only, problem choosing. So real world more problems and daily we are facing, but you identify which problem is better, otherwise which problem is solvable is very useful for the others. It's not useful for myself, ourselves. So it's useful for society, otherwise real world. That's a problem identification mechanism. The next is a literature review, the research existing solutions. So first you identify the problem and you search the relevant problem is already available or not. So for example, in patent based product developing, otherwise you are planning to applying the patent means first you search the Google patent whether it is available or not. For example, in your problem indication totally 5 keywords means already 4 keywords is patent, 4 keyword patent match with already Google patent. And that's a not a correct format for the patent. So you just go through another problem identification mechanism. So you are deep searching with literature review. So that's a very important for research existing solutions. The next plan for the design and development. So mostly nowadays the students one project implementation, for example, smart city already they one project, otherwise existing system developed in Java means just they are changing the language. That's a not a simple solution, and that's a not for the project based learning. So you design and develop a new ideas. Let's say build and iterate the solutions. So you in the same project in the Java based also implement is not a problem, but you give a new idea. There's a new problem indication is not available for existing solution. So you design new model, new product, otherwise new module. Then you based on the module you design, otherwise you write new algorithm such a development. So that time you use same language is not a problem, but your own algorithm, your own development. There's a build and iterate the solutions. The next, the same language, you test and validate. There's a validate and refine the work. So for example, first time you are facing some synthesis error. Otherwise, next is some logical errors. So you again you rectify the errors and you rebuild and compile. That's testing and improvement. So for example, the same storage 500 TP storage mechanism in a AWS, otherwise any Azure cloud mechanism. So just you test one instance. Then next you try another one 500 TP. Then next is 1000 TP. Otherwise, in the same 500 TP, you apply the different test cases, different region, otherwise different algorithms. That's a testing scenarios. That's a testing and improvement. That's a very important. So the same answer giving means you change the algorithm. Otherwise, you change the module again. Next, that's a design and development. That's a reback. That's a life cycle mechanism. So that's a backtracking solutions. So next you change the module and again you test it. That's a one type of improvement mechanism. So that's a refining work. Then finally you complete the test. Your project is good compared to the existing system is a very better means. Then next you go for the documentation and presentation. So it's a very important for the documentation and presentation, because in our project review panel, otherwise project Viva panel, otherwise some product based development, we don't know the back-end process. We just view the front end only. For example, now I am presenting only PPT, but we don't know the preparation, and otherwise we don't know the learning. So that type of mechanism we don't know. So that's a documentation and presentation is very important for our project. That's a main task. Otherwise, the final product of the mechanism. That's a sharing, finding, share the finding and insights. That's a very important. So each stage benefits on target the AI assisted helping students. That's a very useful for the developing project. That's a developing essential research and development skills. The next is a AI-powered problem identification. That's a real-world problem discovery and the scope refinement and industry alignment. That's a real-world problem discovery. Mostly the students facing day-to-day life. That's a problem. So that time they are telling to the mentor. But that real-world problem solutions already available in market. For example, most of the students nowadays telling the attendance monitoring mechanism, otherwise biometric attendance, otherwise there's a very difficult to taking the attendance in during the class hours. So in the physical classroom, so give the OTP, we will type the OTP, then the attendance marking is very easy. This is normally they are students nowadays telling the ideas because they are facing the problem. They mostly some students telling that's taking the attendance time is very less. Just 2 minutes will complete the attendance. Taking the attendance, but this sometimes is possible, sometimes not possible, because some of the colleges, otherwise some of the places available biometric or the biometric available inside the entrance area. So there's students entering the campus is not allowed to up to college hours. So that's a simple attendance monitoring mechanism. Another some colleges, otherwise some places available. For example, library. before entering the library, the biometric only validation, otherwise face validation, any identification only, the door will open. So that type of a mechanism already available. So that's possible to implement in the classroom, but taking the cost. That's only some places not implemented. But that's a real world problem discovery is very important for the students. So AI analyze the current industry challenges and struggling the relevant authentic problem that they connect the classroom learning to practical applications. It's a very important. So already available, but students telling is easy, sir. It's very implementation is part is very simple. But we are facing some difficult, so we did not implement the some places on. The next another is scope refinement. The student receiving the guidance on narrowing broad topics into manageable project scopes and ensuring achievable goals within time frame and available resources. So some students focus on some narrow thinking, otherwise some specific topic only. But for example, any storage mechanism available for normal GPU mechanism and cloud mechanism. So local storage mechanism you can applying any tool, otherwise any normal internet-based mechanism. For example, in your AWS, you are giving the username password, then you can use the storage mechanism, otherwise any implementation part. And the same, and some local company, otherwise some local colleges available same mechanism. When the students entering the same student ID, username, password, the staff also entering the student username, staff ID and password. For example, our official email ID. That's one type of storage mechanism. It's possible. That's a local storage mechanism. So whether the scope is already available, otherwise it is relevant to the project. So that's a the student is possible to achievable the goal within the time frame and availability resources. So sometimes available resources is not very less, means then go for the online resources. Otherwise cloud-based resources. Otherwise we can use the local resources, available resources. The next is third is a industry alignment mechanism. This is a project aligned with emerging trends and market demands. The next, in the preparing the students for career opportunity while addressing meaningful social needs. For example, the very older days in our computer science, mostly use the local software storage. For example, in SQL, we can buy from the SQL, and we can only one root user and 30 client users, and that is the older days. So without payment, we cannot use the SQL queries. They're based on the license duration. But nowadays they are using the either cloud environment, otherwise some online storage mechanism, online tools. Just simply they are opening the browser, online SQL query running. They are open, just same create create table name. They are implementing and executing the queries. So this is a simple example for our example, but based on the industry alignment, we can train the students and preparing the students for the career opportunity. So that is very useful for AI-powered problem identifications. And the next is AI support for design and development. That's a intelligent code suggestions, algorithm explanation, and debugging assistant, and architecture guidance. The first is a intelligent code suggestion. Is a context-aware recommendation, accelerate development while teaching best practice. The next algorithm explanation, clear breakdowns of complex computational concept enhance understanding. The third is a debugging assistance, identifying errors quickly and learn and troubleshooting strategies for future projects. Then architecture guidance, design scalable, meaningful system for professional level structures. That's a support and design development. The next is streamlining documentations with AI. The report writing support, grammar clarity enhancement, and virtual documentations. The report writing support, the AI assistant is struggling technical reports, ensuring clarity and logical flow while meaning the student authentic voice and analysis. And the simple report writing support. For example, you are using the Google, some language translations. For example, giving the English to Tamil, otherwise Tamil to English. Sometimes this not possible to translate. They're giving Tamil to English, otherwise English to Tamil, the same word. For example, you are giving report means English, the same repo, that's a Tamil words only. That's not possible because from the AI translation, that's a AI assistant structured technical report. Sometimes they not giving the structured technical words. That's the one type of. Then another is grammar and clarity enhancement. Sometimes it's a some grammar, that's a spelling mistake. For example, you are using the Z and S categories. That's a simple grammar examination. Example. That's a refined language for professional communication standards, improving readability without compromising technical accuracy or depth. And the next is a virtual documentation. This is generate flowcharts, system diagram, and architectural visualization that clearly communicate complex technical concept to diverse audience. The next fourth category is comprehensive assessment strategies. There's a four comprehensive assessment strategy. First is continuous evaluation, rubric-based assessment, and period self-evaluation, and AI-assisted feedback. The first continuous evaluation, that's already I told. Suppose we are giving the feedback on the third review or final review, is not possible to rectify the students. So there's a regular check-ins and milestones assessment track programs throughout the project life cycle, providing the timeline intervention opportunities. So that's a very important for the continuous evaluation. The next rubric-based assessment. Nowadays, we are matching any theory part, otherwise any practical part, otherwise a project-based. We are following the rubric-based. That's a 13 PO mapping, 11 PO mapping, and based on the course objective in the CO and PO mapping mechanism. At the same time, we are asking, we are taking the questions, means there's a matching with Bloom's taxonomy mechanism. That's a rubric-based assessment mechanism. So clear criteria and standard ensure that transparent and objective evaluation of technical skill and creativity and problem-solving approaches. The next is a third is a peer and self-evaluation. Students develop metacognitive skills by reflecting on their work and providing constructive feedback to classmates. Then finally, fourth is AI-assisted feedback. Instant, detailed feedback on code quality, documentation, and presentation help the student there iterate the documentation method. Then some project example for the real world AI support projects. There's smart attendance system, intelligent chat box, recommendation system, and predictive analytics. It's a smart attendance system, is already I told, the computer vision and facial recognition to automate the classroom attendance tracking. That's nowadays available, but it's another one more drawback, otherwise one more issue that the smart attendance system. It's a computer vision and face recognition. So for example, you are applying other validation also for the taking attendance, but the eye contact is available. But some students misusing the mechanism. For example, you are giving the facial recognition, their face changing, otherwise any mask mechanism. Otherwise, they are giving the URL and OTP to outside the students. So that time you are applying any geographical representation also. That's a smart attendance system. The next is the intelligent chatbot mechanism. That's a natural language processing for customer services and educational support applications. Then next is a recommendation system. It's a personalized content delivery using collaborative, filtered, and machine learning mechanism. Then last, predictive analytics. This is a data-driven forecasting model for business intelligence and decision support. That's a real-world AI support project mechanisms. The next is transformative learning outcomes, that the advanced problem solving, industry readiness, innovation mindset, and independent learning. That's the first advanced problem solving. The student develop a systematic approach to help to complex challenges, learning to break down problems and design innovative solutions. The next industry readiness is a hands-on experience with professional tools and workflows prepare students for immediate workspace contributions. The innovative mindset, experimentation and creative thinking become natural habits as students exploring emerging technologies and methodologies. Independent learning, self-directed research skill and resource navigation enable lifelong learning and continuous professional development. The next is empowering tomorrow innovators. The AI-supported project-based learning bridges the gap between academic theory and professional practice. The preparing students to become confident, capable problem solving in AI-driven world. So, by integrating artificial intelligence through fully into project-based criteria, educators create dynamic learning environment where students develop both technical expertise and critical thinking skills essential for future success. The next is implementing ethics and the future of AI in higher education. Exploring practical strategies, ethical consideration, and evolving role of artificial intelligence in transforming teaching and learning. That's a very useful implementation for future of AI higher education. Then how faculty can start using AI, smart content creation, guiding student usage, align with goals. Begin with manageable AI tools with like ChatGPT for brainstorming or generating discussion prompt. Experiment in low-stake content before scaling up. Then content creation, use AI to draft syllabi, create quiz questions, or developing assignment rubric. This fills up free the higher value pedagogy work. Then guided students usage, introduce AI as a learning companion for research, writing assistant and concept clarification with clear guidance boundaries. Align with goal, integrate AI tool proposally to support specific curriculum. Then ethical and integrity, that's the ethical usage of AI in education, avoiding plagiarism, teaching responsible usage, maintain academic integrity, and AI support, not shortcut. So that's a faculty side for start the AI. The next ethical usage of AI in education, there's avoid plagiarism, teach responsible usage, maintain academic integrity, and AI support, not shortcut. So that's a that's for the core principle for responsible of AI integration. The next navigating challenges in AI-based learning. There's a over reliance on AI, data privacy issue, then faculty training requirement, and infrastructure limitations. The students may become a dependence on AI tools. That's a over reliance on AI. There's a data privacy issue. The protecting students' information is prominent, and institution must where the AI performs to complaints of educator users about the data sharing risk. The faculty training requirement, the effective AI interaction demands on the professional development. The faculty need ongoing support to understand capability, limitation, and pedagogical applications. The next is a infrastructure limitation. Not all institutions have the equal access to cutting the edges AI tools. Equality concern arise when the adaptation creates redistributes between the well-resourced and under-resourced platforms. The next best practice for the faculty empowerment. So mostly told set clear for use AI usage and design open-ended problems and engage reflection on originality and blend AI with human judgment. Then our vision is the future pedagogy with AI. Let's say in the future, the classroom will be smarter. At the same time, the learner will be personalized, and the AI will support every learners. So teacher will become mentor and learning designers. So there's a future of pedagogy with AI is personalized learning path, AI-powered smart classroom, lifelong learning support, faculty as learning architects. So AI will enable adaptive criteria that responsible to individual student needs, pacing, and learning performance in real time. The AI-powered smart classroom, an intelligent system will provide real-time feedback, automated assessment, and dynamic content delivery targeting the class performance. And the lifelong learning support, the AI tutors are learning assist with make continuous education more accessible, supporting professionals throughout their careers. The faculty is learning architect, the educator will evolve into the designer of learning experience. Then the AI implementation is a success matrix. So totally faculty interest is 73% and time saving is 2.5% and student engagement is 8-9%. So the percentage of higher for the education, there's experience willingness to expose the AI teaching tools. The same time saving is average efficiency gain reported by faculty using AI for administrative tasks. So mostly we are giving some administrative work only for giving the graph, generating the graph, otherwise some Excel comparisons, otherwise some analysis part, that's the implementation part. So mostly in the faculty side, the degree is the physical work. The next student engagement improving in participation rates, whether when AI tools support the personalized learning. The building balanced integration framework assess needs, select tools and pilot test and measuring impact and refine and scale. That's building balance for AI integration framework. Then identify the specific pedagogy challenges where the AI can add values and choose the appropriate AI platform aligned with learning objective for the selecting tools and pilot and test versus a testing implementation that's implement in controlled setting with clear evaluation criteria. Then measured impact, that's collect the data on learning outcomes and student satisfaction. Then refine and scale, there's adjust based on the feedback and expand the successful practice. Then another key insight for the educational partner, enhance not replacement and irreplaceable human touch as a balance in essential. So in our enhance the not replacement, the AI enhance the collaborative and project-based learning by providing feedback and resources, but cannot replace the human elements of mentorship and influencing. And irreplaceable human touch, the teacher remains irreplaceable in fostering critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and ethical reasoning and social dimension of learning that define the higher education. Balance is essential. So last is a partner. That is not a replacement. So a conclusion for in our topic. The collaborative and project-based learning approach by AI creates better learning experience. There is not a replacement. That AI is a partner. So teacher remains heart of the education. So the future of higher education lies through full integration of artificial intelligence, and there's using it to amplifying human teaching, not substitute for it. So by embracing AI as a collaborative tool while maintaining our commitment to critical thinking, ethical practice, and human consent, so we can create richer, more effective learner experience. The path forward require both innovation and vision. So let us build an AI enhanced educational ecosystem that serve all learning while upholding the core values of academic excellence. So very last conclusion, so AI is not a replacement. The AI is a partner. The teacher remains the heart of the education. So thank you all.
We sincerely thank you for kindly being with us and for thoughtfully guiding the session as a part of this faculty program. The session was informative and relevant to the objectives of the program. We truly value the time and effort taken by you, sir, for sharing your perspectives and experience with the participants. On behalf of the organizing committee and all the participants, we respectfully convey our gratitude to you, sir, for your meaningful contribution and continued support. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, shall I leave, ma'am?
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.